Hello folks and welcome to Couch Potato, the show where I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything TV. I'm your host Sean Holscher, and today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix series, Marvel's Luke Cage. Luke Cage is the third of 5 new Netflix shows taking place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, sharing continuity with the popular film franchise. Just as films like Iron Man and Captain America have led up to each Avengers movie, these Netflix shows are leading up to a miniseries titled The Defenders, which will show Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the upcoming Iron Fist teaming up together to save New York City. One thing I loved automatically about Luke Cage was how it felt different from both Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Daredevil is definitely the most superheroic show out of the bunch, with flashy suits and mystical ninjas, and Jessica Jones was more of a mysterious police procedural. Just the private eye happened to have superpowers. She never got into a costume, and there weren't very many big, broad, superpowered fights, but if you are going into Luke Cage hoping for a Daredevil or even a Jessica Jones, you may be disappointed. Luke Cage isn't a guy who puts on spandex, he's not a private eye, he's someone who just wants to do the right thing. He sees crime and corruption choking the life out of Harlem, and he plans to do something about it. He also just happens to have super strength and bulletproof skin. When Luke loses someone very close to him, he is sprung into action, which puts him on a collision course with Cornell Stokes, aka Cottonmouth, played by Mahershala Ali. Cottonmouth is a ruthless drug dealer and crime lord, who has connections to his corrupt police official cousin Mariah, played by Alfre Woodard, Criminal Shades, played by Theo Rossi, and the mysterious Diamondback, played by Eric LeRae Harvey. Luke will eventually ally with police detective Misty Knight, played by Simone Missick, and the nurse Claire Temple, played by Rosario Dawson, who is making her 4th appearance as Claire in these Marvel shows. There are strong performances all around, and Mike Colter proves to be a strong leading man and does a wonderful job carrying the show. This is a series full of rich performances, and Colter does a good job leading the charge among them. Close behind is Easily Woodard, who brings a snarky realism to Mariah. She could easily be nominated for an Emmy. Ali, Harvey, Dawson, and Rossi all do superb work as well. What's also surprising is how unexpectedly deep the show is, and anybody who finds relevance in the Black Lives Matter movement or the social issues involving police in the past few years will be quite moved by the series. After a scene from the show when the citizens of Harlem are wearing bullet-hole-ridden sweatshirts in protest to the police actions, this is almost shocking how close to home this show hits. There is a 1970s blaxploitation vibe laced within the fabric of the entire show, which only adds to the fun and the panache of the series. With both awesome performances and action, there isn't a whole lot to complain about, but one red flag I could find in the series was the structure itself. Luke Cage is like a 13-hour movie, similar to the other Marvel shows, and while I do prefer a show telling one solid story arc over several dozen filler episodes all wrapping around another bigger story, Luke Cage marks the first time that these Netflix Marvel shows almost ran out of steam. There are pacing issues that cripple moments of the series that I didn't find in both Daredevil and Jessica Jones. There is an entire nightclub stakeout that is spread across an entire episode that could have easily been 15 to 20 minutes tops. And the final battle, reaching across the last 2 episodes, almost feels like a battle out of Dragon Ball Z. Still, Luke Cage is a wonderful addition to the Netflix lineup. It's a show full of vibrant performances, atmosphere, and wonderful action. I liked that Luke Cage had a wonderful group of bad guys to foil him, making it hard for our invulnerable hero. I liked that the bad guys weren't a big happy family, but an uneasy alliance full of people with their own agendas. I also was wildly impressed by the series' end, which felt very reminiscent of Game of Thrones. I won't get into spoilers here, but if you appreciate the risks and the chances Game of Thrones has taken over the last few years, you'll definitely get a kick out of Luke Cage. And as always, keep an eye out for all the Marvel Easter eggs, connecting this show to the movies. Look out for the Stan Lee cameo, and even a surprise cameo made by Method Man. Thank you very much for watching my video today, and the fall TV season is now in full swing, so please join me next week for another edition of Couch Potato. I'm Sean Holscher, and you can also find me at www.bloggersean89.blogspot.com, where you'll find my movie reviews, movie news, and everything else in between. Thanks again.